Gaijin announced some BR changes coming up in this very month. So let's take a look at what we have coming your way. Good evening, I'm OldDeadMan. Welcome to the channel. We're taking a look at these BR changes real fast. Now, I've already recorded this once, but the audio was bad. So let's see if we can get through this without audio problems this time. Starting up, we've got the SB2M 100 going from 1.7 to 1.3. And that's not a surprise. It's not really that effective, even for a low BR like that, a small bomb load. CW21 is going from 2.0 to 2.3. Now, my friends who talk to me about the CW21 tell me it's an excellent plane, very good at dogfighting, and very capable. In fact, it was being used at 4.0 BR squadron battles by some squadrons. The XA-38 is going from 4.7 to 4.3. The UH-1D is going from 9.0 to 8.3. The A-4E Early from 9.0 to 8.7. The MiG-21 F-13 and the MiG-21 PFM are going from 9.7 to 9.3. Kind of a surprise on those two. They don't really seem to be that big of a problem, and they aren't really quite that identical. The H-1Z is going from 10.0 to 10.3. Good counter to the KA-52s and KA-50s, so no surprise. When it's spaded. Until you get it spaded, though, it's a challenge. T2 is going from 10.0 to 9.7. Kind of surprised there, too. But maybe they're making room for the new Tier 7. You know, maybe that could be what they're thinking there. And the F-104J is going from 10.3 to 10.7. In ground vehicles, I'm going to split this into two sections here, the AA guns and the everything else. And you'll see why in just a moment here. M15A1 is going from 2.3 to 2.0. The SDKFZ 6.2 is going from 2.3 to 2.0. The CCKW 353 from 2.7 to 2.3. ZES43 3.7 to 3.3. Anti-2 is going from 3.3 to 3.0. Ostwin 4.3 to 4.0. Type 65AA or the Feng Kong T-34 in both countries, the Chinese and the Russian ones, going from 5.7 to 5.3. M19 going from 4.7 to 4.3. Good move on that. That at least makes it so you have a reasonable chance to put a lineup down lower for rank 3 battles, so you can do your battle tasks. Crusader Mark 1 AA from 4.3 to 4.0. ZSU 37 4.3 to 4.0. All models of M42 Duster going from 5.7 to 5.3. That doesn't surprise me a whole lot, but in the package it's kind of a surprise. Falcon 7.7 to 8.0, Sodom 25 8.0 to 8.3, Florak Rad from 10.0 to 10.3, the Azrad 10.3 to 10.7, M247 8.3 to 8.7, Stormer 9.7 to 10.0, LV RBV 701 9.7 to 10.0. I believe the ZA35 is also an AA gun, 8.3 to 8.7. And this one's a little hinky. It might or might not be, depending on how you play it. ADAT's M113A3 from 10.3 to 10.7. The ZSU 57-2 is going from 7.3 to 7.0. Now, except for the ZSU 57, pretty much everything above 6.0 that's an AA gun went up. And everything below 6.0 went down. And while that looks good on the surface, the bottom end gets compressed and the top end just gets compressed up. So they're not really fluffing things out to make room for anything unless they're going to try and stick something in the middle there. And I have no clue what. That doesn't make it that much sense to me. But basically, if you play lower tiers, your AA gun just got cheaper. Upper tiers, it just got more expensive. All right, other vehicles. The TTD went from 9.7 to 10.0. No surprise, it's a pretty effective tank for that BR. It's going to be meeting more top tier. Leopard 2PL 10.7 to 10.3. No clue why. Object 906 8.0 to 7.7. Chieftain Mark 5 8.3 to 8.7. Really? It's not really any different than the Chieftain Mark 3. T114 going from 6.7 to 7.0. This is a tremendously effective little tank destroyer. No armor to speak of. But that 3-round autoloader on its recoilless rifle, doggone good. And everybody I know that has it loves it. Unfortunately, that kind of takes it out of a really good sweet spot for American right now, 6.7. So, yeah, it is what it is. VFM5 going from 9.0 to 9.3. EBR from 5.3 to 5.7. No surprise, it's basically an M18 with wheels. The Striker from 8.3 to 8.0. ZT3A2, 8.7 to 8.3. The 9P149 went from 8.7 to 8.3. The M10 went from 3.7 to 3.3. Surprised there as well. That 76mm gun at 3.3 will actually be really effective. It was already pretty effective, but the turret rotation was so stinking slow you couldn't get the gun on anything in a hurry. Martyr 3 is going from 2.3 to 2.0. Just too easy to kill those things. M8 HMC going from 1.7 to 1.3. Same problem with its turret. Really slow. Kind of the cutest little short barrel howitzer though. And the SD KFC 234/4 or Pac Puma going from 3.7 to 4.0. Entirely not a surprise. With that gun, it's nearly as effective as an M18, so why wouldn't it move up? On the fleet side, the Fairmile D697 is going from 3.0 to 2.7. The MBK PR186, both the MK85 and the regular model, and the HMS Peacock are all going from 3.3 to 3.7. The MPK PR12412 is going from 4.7 to 4.3. The PR41 Nostrashimi is going from 4.7 to 5.0. The Shimakaze from 4.3 to 4.7. The Krasny Kavkaz is going from 5.0 to 4.7. The Agano 5.3 to 5.7. The Pola and the Zara going from 5.7 to 5.3. The Type 1939 T31, the Type 1924 Jaguar going from 3.7 to 4.0. The Porter and the Moffat going from 5.0 to 4.7. The HMS Enterprise going from 5.0 to 4.7. And the Northampton going from 5.3 to 5.0. And that's all the BR changes they've got coming along here. Overall, I'm not sure how I feel about this one. These changes compress BR for a lot of things. And unless they're going to be sticking things in the holes in the middle and expanding the BR range considerably, this doesn't really set the stage for a positive outcome to make things better. So we'll see what happens. I'm keeping out for the patch update notes. Hey, and thank you for joining me. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in War Thunder.